it's Shannon Sizzlen Stampers, and I'm coming to you from my Southern Colorado stamp studio. Today's video is a video tutorial for those of you who purchased my Icy Wintry Fancy Phrases beautiful class. This is a class that I designed so that you could purchase it now, and then over Christmas break, over the holidays, you can complete it by following this video along. I do have a couple of things to note. I'm a bit in a crazy from doing the holidays craze, and I currently cannot find my gray shimmer ribbon. So I'm going to show you the projects using two different ribbons, the striped petal pink, which is beautiful, and then our white seam binding that I have colored gray granite. And it's really actually very nice looking. Provided I can find the gray granite ribbon in the next couple of days and get it cut, I will send it in the kits to you. Otherwise, I will send you a substitute ribbon. Also, in my crazy mind, I neglected to order the champagne rhinestones for this, which you each get a full package of it. That's part of the kit value. And so I will be placing an order for those tomorrow, and as soon as they arrive, I'll mail those out to you with the kit so that you don't have to wait. I will send you some substitute ideas, and I'm going to show you a couple of those on the cards tonight. So they are using the kind of champagne-y peachy pink artistry blooms as self-adhesive sequins, and they're using our regular rhinestones that I have just taken my alcohol marker, the blends, and colored them to be very similar to the champagne rhinestones, as close as I could get. So those are kind of the substitutes that you'll get in your kit. Huge apologies for that. I don't know where my brain is at these days. This project kit uses the stamp set Fancy Phrases, which I love because I love this particular type of art on this floral. It's different than a lot of things that we've had before. We have a lot of florals, but I like the scratchy art line of that, but I love all these different sayings. If you did not choose to purchase this kit, and it also has it comes in a bundle with a fancy label punch. I have punched those label punches for you, but if you want the bundle or you want the stamp set, it's not too late. Just go to my website, sizzlenstamper.stampinup.net, and use code JZ44GNF. That's my code for this month. So you go ahead and use that code and pick up these items. Also, don't miss out because a lot of our holiday stuff is retiring. You'll want to get that, and some of that stuff is deeply discounted right now. December 2020, 10 to 50% off. So get those while their supplies limited. When they run out, they run out. If you don't have this Fancy Phrases stamp set and you didn't purchase it or don't have time to purchase it before you make their cards, you can substitute with any floral, and you can substitute with any phrasing that you like. So any sentiment stamps that you have and any floral that you have, you can substitute that. The colors of ink that we will primarily be using are petal pink. We may use the gray granite a little bit, and basic gray. Also something that is MIA currently in my craft room, my big basic gray ink pad. Not sure where that's disappeared to. I have like 5 things right now that I can't locate. And of course, 3 of them are things that I needed for this project. So those are the color of inks. If you don't have those inks, substitute something that will go well. You can always use black ink, our basic black, instead of the basic gray. It will look just fine. The basic gray is just a shade lighter, so it's just a little more subtle. If you don't have a petal pink, Blushing Bride might work. Also, Calypso Coral might give you a deeper tone look. So those are some options for you on that as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with the first card in your kit. And I'm going to show you each of the pieces that you'll need for each project before we begin. So this has a gray granite base that is 5.5 by 8.5. You have a piece of DSP, and remember, you're getting materials to make 2 of each card. So they will be packaged by card and then into one bag. So everything in card 1 will make 2 of card 1. The reason I say that is your DSPs may vary slightly. They'll be like all grays or all petal pinks probably to match the color, but the design itself may be slightly different. A piece of ribbon, which ribbon that's going to be, I'm not sure yet. You're going to have a story label Whisper White punch. You're going to have one of our beautiful vellum doilies. Absolutely love those. You will have a piece of Whisper White rectangle, and a petal pink rectangle. And then you will have a little piece of designer paper. This one is marbled on one side and it has kind of a gray floral. And that is, I've already pre-punched that with that fancy tag punch. That comes as part of the bundle if you get the stamp set. And anyone who knows me knows I love the punches. So those are the supplies needed for this first card. So let's go ahead and begin. Just wanted to check my timing. Okay. So first, step 1 is fold your card base in half. Traditional card. This card is designed to go horizontal like this, so fold at the top, and then we are merely going to, I know, isn't that beautiful, the back of that petal pink? And we're going to go ahead and layer that on in like so. Okay, next thing we're going to go ahead and stamp. And for this, you'll notice I am going to be using the Memento Black. Uh-oh. Oh, I am so sorry. Someone's messaging me urgently from my work, and I need to look at that really quickly. Just to make sure. Okay. All right. They're going to be kind. They're going to ask someone else. All right. So we are going to, like I said, we're going to go ahead and stamp our floral arrangement. And for this, you're not going to be stamping the whole arrangement. We're going to be kind of stamping it off to the left upper side. So you just want to kind of lay that how you like it. How do you like those florals coming down? And that's where you want to stamp it. Okay. So again, you can use the basic black ink, which is what I'm going to do on this. The reason I'm going to use the basic black ink is I am using the blender pens for this. The blends are alcohol markers. And so we want that my sticker is on there a little bit crooked, so therefore the stamp is a little bit crooked. So because I'm going to use the blend pens, I want that black memento so that it doesn't bleed. Okay. So I have to hop up, and I've neglected to grab one set of my blends. Okay. It's always so crazy. I think I have everything organized and then I don't. If you do not have the blends, you can always substitute with watercolor pencils, our markers, whatever. And you'll see I'm just doing a quick, very, very quick over that. And I go in with my Old Olive, the light, do a little bit where the leaves are. The thing I love the scratchy artwork. So when you color, you also do not need to be coloring in. You can kind of color in scratchy because that's how it is. So the second time I'm using the dark petal pink, and I am going in on trying to get those scratch marks. That's my goal, to color that. And I'm going to do the same thing with the fine point on the leaves. Just adding a little bit. The other option that you could do, and you're going to see me do something similar on a different card, you could do that option on this as well, is to take your sponge dauber and your ink pad and color in with the sponge, the dauber or a sponge. Either one will work. I'll be showing that technique a little bit later. I'm going to go back in with this, I think it's light pumpkin pie. Yes. And just do my centers a little bit. And now I'm going to go back across those flowers one last time and really get that blended look that we love. And then same thing with the leaves. You go back over those with your light so that you get that blend effect, because that's what it's all about, is getting that artistry blend look. Okay. So that piece is now done. So just like that, we've created that part. Next, we're going to go ahead and layer that stamped and colored image onto the petal pink rectangle that you've got. So just layer that on. Now you're going to take, ooh, I almost grabbed the wrong ribbon. The long one there. You're going to go ahead and take your ribbon and you're going to put it through the hole in your tag. And you can choose whichever side of paper that you like best, and you'll have a better idea of that once you see what your paper design choices are. And also once you see where it's going to go, because it's going to just hang out like so. And then you're going to trim those. And I'm actually going to give these a little bit of a banner edge. Let's see if I've got the trim. So now I'm going to go ahead and put the adhesive on there, and we want that tag edge to kind of come right up on the center like so. Okay, and then you're layering that rectangle like that, and then oh, I totally forgot my vellum doily. Ah, just pop that off. And just put a little adhesive where you know that you're going to have that come up too. And you're going to lay that doily up in the corner. Now we can go back on with our just trying to center that so your doily is kind of up there. And that doily may be very difficult to see on here. I'll bring it right on up to the camera so you can see where I've layered that doily. All right, so that is almost finished. That's the front finished. Now we're going to take the little stamp that says, in case you need it sometime. So we've got sending a little smile your way. And then the last thing we're going to stamp is keep it in case you need it sometime. Okay. Now the last, and then that's just going to get stuck in flat on the center of the card. Now, here is where you're going to get to do some embellishing. And this is where your champagne dots would have come in handy. but I'm going to show you using the Artistry Blooms sequins. So I'm going to go with 2 of the bigger sequins on either side, right in there. And then up in here, I'm going to just do a couple little ones and one more biggish one right there, like so. And that's it, you're done. And I actually think that the sequins look really nice on it as well. So it's not a case that the champagne rhinestones make it, you know, make or break it, but I just love the champagne rhinestones. And I'm so silly, I can't believe, because I do love them, that I didn't order them. All right, so that is project 1. That is card 1. All right, so let's set that aside. Okay, card 2. Get some of these things out of my way. All right, so card 2 is going to feature, I think it's with that one, a piece of petal pink that is cut at 4 1/4 by 11, a piece of standard whisper white, another piece of designer paper, and I am so sorry, you might have to measure these. I can't remember the measurements off the top of my head. 4 by 3, I believe. And then we have a whisper white stitched circle. Then, of course, we are going to have, Shannon, my brain is so not working. I'm so sorry. You're going to have some ribbon. So on this one, I'm going to go ahead and do the gray ribbon to show you. All right, so first off with this, we will be folding this one up and down vertically. So it's like a tall with a fold at the top. And the petal pink cardstock, you know, it's really interesting. Our cardstock comes from different manufacturers, and sometimes there's a little bit of difference in how they're, the fibers of them. All right, so we've got this like so. Next, we are going to layer. We're going to end up layering this like so. So I want to go ahead and stamp my flowers. So we will need to get my big stamp block, get all my other little stamps off of it. I probably should have started with this card because it has uses the flowers in petal pink. Okay, so again, you're not going to be stamping that whole image. So you're going to just pick out, and I'm going to stamp this real quick here. I just want to make sure I got all the, yeah, good, gray, black off. Okay, so again, like I say, you're going to pick out what part of the flower you want stamped, and you're going to stamp it kind of along this side. You want to leave a little bit of white space. Does that make sense? I always like to talk about white space and working in odd numbers, especially 3s or like triangling, because in the art world, that's those things, negative space, 3s, triangles, that's how your eye travels. And for some reason, a triangle is the shape of beauty. So I always like to think in 3s and that such. Next, I'm going to use our basic gray ink. And this time we are going to use the sayings. Here they are. When I count my blessings, which is falling. So we're going to have when I count my blessings. Let me just do that. And we're going to stamp that right kind of centered into a little bit of that white space, like so. And then you're gonna kind of figure out where this is going to be layered, okay? Because you're gonna end up coming down and you're gonna stamp the I count you twice. If you only have a single saying stamp on here, you can just use it right in there. You don't have to have another part of the saying coming down below. Or if you're using a different, you know, again, a different saying or set completely, you can do that as well. So I count you twice. Next, we are going to put on the piece of DSP. I know there's that petal pink, so beautiful again on the back. That's why you're gonna want to order a package of this peony DSP if you do not already own it. I feel like my cutting blade somehow is slightly crooked on those. All right, and next you're gonna take the gray granite ribbon, or you may get the seam binding, and you can either tie a bow. You'll have enough to do a bow, maybe. I'm thinking this is more of a knot project on here. So you're going to bring that little ribbon, and you're wanting it to come on this fold right here. You're going to be covering up that raw edge. Okay, does that make sense? So your knot is going to be on the right hand side of the paper. And you know, I just try to get a little tighter usually than I need it, because then when I let it go, it's where I want it. And that way there's no adhesive at all even used on that. If you need to, you can use a glue dot on the back. Sometimes I'll do that to make sure that I get it right where I want. We're going to trim those down, but not until we put on our little saying. And this time, if you have dimensionals, I recommend the dimensionals. Now, it's not required, and you can totally get by with putting this on flat, but I love to have it have that little popped up filling, and I want it to come down a little bit. I want that to come like so. I think I'm going to put mine right about like that. Okay. And then you're just going to trim. I don't have my regular ribbon scissors out here. That's why you see me using these. Okay. So now we've got that. Next is adhesive. And onto your card base. Okay. Last thing is to add your sprinkles, your little drizzle of rhinestones. So again, remember, I am sending you these as a substitute. So I'll go ahead and put this one I'm kind of doing 5. Oh, that one didn't want to go. Okay. All right. So there, like you can't even tell that, except for that one that just came off because I didn't get its glue. You can't even tell that these are not the champagne rhinestones. These look pretty awesome, actually. I'm pretty pleased. So you may not want to wait, or you can make all the card up and then add the rhinestones when you get it. And you'll notice I did not bling out the floral. I don't, you know, it's just this way. It kind of calls attention to that saying, when I count my blessings, I count you twice. And this one is just blank inside. If you wanted, you could add the sprig of vinery that's there, but for me, I think I love it. I just love the simplicity of it. So that's card 2. Okay, card 3. You're going to have a longer piece of ribbon. For this one, I'm going to show it with the petal pink. Petal pink ribbon. And oh, I've got a double in here, a double item that I don't need. I did lay that over there. Someone will need that. Okay, so you'll have 3 little, this is our small tropical blossom punch, and they're already punched for you out of the petal pink. So you have 3 of those. You have a white piece that has, this is from the Positive Thoughts dies. You have a larger piece of a gray and white floral. You have another larger piece of plain Whisper White. And then you have a piece of the gray granite at this size. So the first thing on this is with this, you are going to want to score or measure and use your scissors, whatever you have. I'm going to use my score tool. And long way like this, scoring across the top, you're going to score that at 2 3/4. And just flip it around and score the other end at 2 3/4. Okay? And you're going to fold those. Into one another. This is an easy fancy fold or gate card is sometimes what it's known as. You can use a score on your trimmer. You can, if you have to, you can measure it out and run a scissor handle or your bone folder along next to a ruler to get that score line. But that's again why I love the scoring tool. Okay, so now you have this piece like so. We're going to start with the inside. So that larger white piece, let me move my little flowers or I will have lost them momentarily. Okay, so we're going to take the basic gray or gray granite ink, whatever you have. And just to give a little bit of something in this gray card, we're going to stamp the gray, I'll call it a branch. It does have some little blossoms. And then we're just going to adhere that on inside. Like so. Center that in. Perfect. So now you have this nice little fold. All right. So the next thing you're going to do is we are going to stamp and make the little floral, and we're going to do some coloring to this piece. So this is where I was saying earlier that you could also do this technique on that card 1. So I'm going to do it with I'm going to show you both ways. I'm going to show you doing it with a sponge dauber, and I'm going to show it to you with using one of our pieces of sponge, because you can do it either way. You are just randomly, you're just adding some color. You are not coloring all in. So that's kind of how it goes on with the dauber. And this is how it goes on with a sponge. Okay. So again, you're not coloring in the flower per se. You're just adding a little bit of color to the gray and white. Okay. So set that piece aside. Next, we're going to stamp at the center top. We're going to stamp a little, oops, not a little something for you. I want my birthday one. Oop, I don't have that one out. That can't be. I don't have any in there. Blessings. Okay, one moment. Missing stamp. And it has to be here. That's the craziest thing. Okay, flowers. Keep it. Something for you. Count my blessings. Count you twice. Something. I'm missing 2 stamps. I stuck them over here. That's how I am. Okay. So birthday wishes. That's what's going to go on the front. And again, that's going to go with our gray granite. So we're going to ink that up really well. Upper third centered of the white, like so. Now we are going to take and adhere these little flowers. Oop. And you can use whatever adhesive you want. I think I'm going to end up doing some glue dots on mine, because the thing is you need 2 of them to have some glue. That glue dot, what craziness. Around, and you want to layer them so that your petals are kind of going every other way. So we kind of got them. And a glue dot is great for that, but you can use any glue. Now, I am going to take my bone folder. I'm going to turn them over from the back side, and I'm just going to kind of... You can also do your petals, curl them kind of up like this before you adhere them together. That may be easier for you. I'm just doing it, and I'm just really sitting my bone folder in between those layers and just pushing up on it. I'm not really super curling it. I'm going to come into this top one and do a little bit more curling with it, but that's the idea. So now we're going to put that on right here in the center of the card. And I know it does not look pretty yet. And that is because we need a big rhinestone or a big artistry sequin. So I'm going to use the rhinestone right there. And now that ribbon, you could use the gray. I just love this petal pink, and since I couldn't find my gray shimmer, I'm going with it. Because it is wide, I am going to opt to do a knot. So if you end up with petal pink in this kit, the petal pink wide striped organdy, I'm just letting you know, you're going to want to probably do a knot, but you can do, if you can do a bow, more power to you. I am not going to tell you otherwise. And then again, clip these beauties down a little bit. You could also do the gray. I'm just going to slide. Just want to slide that down because I want to have it I want to kind of have that in nice thirds. Now we're going to glue that to this. Okay. You're going to center it on to your gray floral page. And now comes the trick. Apply your adhesive in a square onto the top tab. Then close it and center your card right in there on that. Okay? So now you have a fancy fold card. And if you want, you could always put something else right here. Birthday wishes. You know, you could put may your day. In fact, I might do that. I just might do that right now. So what I'm doing is on this inside flap, I'm going to make sure I line the saying up. To where it's not seen when the card is closed. Oop, a little crooked there. Isn't that pretty? So now you have this fancy card. It opens and there's plenty of room to write a beautiful birthday message to someone. All right, so that was card 3. The last card is a super fun one. So this one I like, but it is a little bit of a project, and it does take a little bit more paper than some. So this is half of a sheet of 12 by 12. So this is, well, it's not quite half of a sheet. It's 5.5 by 12. Okay, and so we are going to again score. And you see me looking because I have to write these scoring things down for myself, or I can't remember. So we're going to score at 4.25. 4.25 and 8.5. Okay. Don't know why that doesn't seem right to me. So, but it is okay. All right, so this is the outside. So then you just fold it in, okay? This is just like an extra flap. And I will tell you, if you want to, you could diagonal cut this and make it into a pocket card, something that I showed very similar during my holidays craze. But this one uses the purple posy. So I'm going to do the inside first, and we are going to layer this standard purple posy cut into the center. So just layer that between your score lines evenly. And then you're gonna, we're gonna stamp this. So we're going to use that vine again. And I think we're gonna say a little something for you. Where is that one? Yeah, I haven't used that one yet. So this time I'm going to stamp my saying in the gray granite, and I'm going to stamp the little vine branch in, sorry, I'm going to stamp my saying in basic gray and the little vine branch in gray granite. Just to give a different color. And I also want you to be able to see what the differences in these inks are, because sometimes it's not a lot. So sometimes you can get away. See, there's very little difference. This just has a hint of tan in it. So you could totally be stamping these whole things with gray granite instead of basic gray if you had to. All right, so now we're going to layer that on top of our purple posy square rectangle. Okay. So now we have that like so. Now the front, you have a few things. You have a few things for the front. We are going to create kind of a tag-esque look, and we're going to be using the gray ribbon. So we've got this set like so. So in essence, we're going to be repeating. We're going to do that purple posy, and this time you're going to pick this print, the print DSP. I mean, I guess you could put this floral, but I think you're going to want the geometric print on top. So we're going to do like so, layer that onto our purple posy. Now we are going to, we're going to have this tag like that. So we're going to, instead of actually feeding this through, we're going to create a bow, and I'm going to show you a fudge technique, or just a way to have a bow. It looks like it's going through the tag, but it's, we're just going to take up that space. We're not really going to run that tag through that hole, but we want to see that hole. We want to give the appearance that we've run the tag through the hole. And again, you can use whatever adhesive is easy for you. I'm going to use a glue dot. And you're just going to put that up there. Okay. Very, very simple. Very, very easy. Next, we're going to take our purple posy heart, and this one I'm going to pop up with some dimensionals. If you have them. If you don't, the card is designed, it will look absolutely fine to have your heart flat. Typically, I try to design, especially when I'm doing kits in the mail, I try to design them so that if someone does not have a certain adhesive, that they can still make the item and it will look right. So you see I'm making this straight on, right? Now you've got a 1/2 inch, and I'm going to go ahead and do this in the gray granite this time because I want to make sure that I get the saying, and it's about heartfelt. May your day be filled with heartfelt happiness. And I thought that would be so cute. That uses our scallop heart punch. And there's no need to wait and only use that at Valentine's. I mean, you can use that heart-shaped punch whenever. And it just fits into that paper, which is a 1/2 inch wide. I've cut it longer to allow you to do whatever you want with it. I'm going to snip it kind of at an angle to give it angled in. And then I'm going to lay that right across my heart. And straight on, because you're going to put your tag on at a cockeyed angle like that, okay? So when you go to put your tag, it's going to give you that fun angled effect. If not, then I would have put my saying on at an angle. But we're going to put our little tag kind of at an angle like so. Okay? So that's going to just go onto our front center like this. Center that up. Now, why do we have this? You know, what is the point of this card? I am wanting to put a little something extra on there, but I didn't yet know what I wanted to do with that. And so I'm going to leave that kind of up to you guys to decide. It's kind of just a fancy flap. So you could make a cut. You could cut it this way and create a pocket, but then you're going to lose all this. So why use my DSP that way? Okay. So I'm going to leave you that DSP and you can play with it and decide what you like. For me, I think what I would look at with this for me of doing would be more of an album filling, and maybe I would put a picture here and a picture here. The other thing that you could do, I wonder if I have my trimmer. Let's just see. I've got a piece of purple posy here. So if you have an extra piece of purple posy, and we'll see if I have crazy time to cut you a piece. But I'm thinking what I might do, let's get my little trimmer out here. That is about 3.5 inches from the cutting blade. So we're gonna go with this and see what happens. This is me creating on the fly. So we're gonna cut the purple posy at 3.5, and I'm gonna just 3.5. And then I'm going to have to so I've just made a 3.5 by 3.5 inch square of purple posy, like so. So now I think what I'm going to do is take my triangle edge to triangle edge. And this is sometimes tedious to do on this little cutter, but this is just me creating on the fly. So now I'm going to have created this pocket. So I just want a little edge. Oh, my scrap paper up here, sorry. I don't want my adhesive all the way down in there, because otherwise you'll never be able to get anything to hold inside of the pocket. Okay, so I'm just going to put my little pocket in. Now I can tuck something else in there. And I think the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to that little vine. I'm going to put another little vine on there. This is where you just get to be creative. Like that. Now, if you pretended that my business card was a gift card, I could slide the gift card in there. So you may get a scrap of purple posy. I won't have it cut for you. I can tell you that right now. But I'll try to put a scrap in for you to make a little pocket into there. So that way you can have, it makes sense to me to have that. May your day be filled with heartfelt happiness, a little something for you. And you have like a gift card right there, or cash, or whatever you want to put in it. And then you have your note. So that, I think, makes much more sense to me. And the other thing you could do, if you had a little ribbon left, like I do, you could take, and this seam binding of ours that I've colored gray granite with the blend pen is so nice and thin. It doesn't really add a lot of bulk to your card. So you can easily just put a little bow right on that one. How cute is that? And there you go. You could always come back in there and bring that flower print in if you wanted. But isn't that cute? Super cute. I love it. And it's totally different. So that's card 4. So let me bring back out all the cards for you. So card 4 that we've just updated. LOL. Card 3, you know, I tried to have a couple of new folds in there, or unusual ones. And then our standard cards of so. So there you go. What do you think? I hope you guys love them. I do. Oop, and I can tell I don't have enough. There we go. I didn't get that adhesive down good enough. You can always add more bling to them if you want when you get your full set of rhinestones. But all right. Thank you for purchasing my Fancy Phrase class. I hope that you enjoy it. I hope it gives you a nice start to some cards for the new year of 2020, which I hope will be filled with health and happiness for all of us. Bye-bye.